Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the MMA Short Show. As always, your boy, Steven Moustaris, and I am back from New York City, baby. Not only is it the greatest time ever to be in the best city in the world, but when you get paid every single second that you're out there, like, come on, man. Come on, man. You could sign me up for that any day of the week. But this brings my whole point when it comes to MMA now. Like last week, I'm sitting there trying to enjoy this beautiful Empire State Building tour. I'm on the 102nd floor looking down on the city. And then what do you know? My phone starts blowing up. And it's finally the announcement, which I wasn't too shocked about this yet. But finally the announcement from Dana White, announcing Conor McGregor's out of his fight with Michael Chandler. And, now here comes Alex Pereira, and Yuri Prochazka. And, I know we already announced Khalil Roundtree's out of his fight, but, Jamal Hill's also out now, too. And then, 2 seconds later, there goes Khamzat Chimaev. He's back-to-back fight cards are just completely, pushed away because Khamzat Chimaev has to back out of another fight against Bobby Knuckles. And, I'm sitting here, man, and I see all these people being outraged and everything, and, we were due. If we're being honest, do you guys remember COVID? The whole reason that we're even lucky enough to have these backup fights and the UFC to be so smart with what they're doing was because of COVID. When they were still the only ones out there pushing it, and back when the Apex was kind of cool, how many fights were we losing the night before a fight card anyway? It was like 4 or 5 fights, it felt like, in main events after main event. So ever since then, the UFC has learned, and we got these replacements, and it's beautiful and everything. We still have fights, but man, this Khamzat Chimaev one really, really bothers me, man. Because not only am I one of the biggest Robert Whittaker fans out there, Bobby Knuckles all day, now you're sitting there with Khamzat. How does a fighter go from fighting twice in a week, 4 times in a month and a half or whatever he did, talking about running 2 or 3 divisions at a time, to then, and not only doing all that, but you're sparking people in a minute, less than a minute. When he knocked out Gerald Meerschaert in 10 seconds, the way he's taking out Kevin Holland, the way he's taking out, the Leech, the way he's taking out all the guys, and then the wars that he's had with Usman and, even Gilbert Burns, these fights have been fun. How does this guy go from that to being absolutely just disappeared for the last few years where he can't even fight? And then there's some weird thing with, can he even get a correct visa to even fight in the States? So then now they're just trying to book everything for him around, the whole Saudi Arabia, all these different, little Middle Eastern fight cards and everything that he actually can go to. And then bam, he pulls out. And what hurts the most is this hurts Robert Whittaker the absolute most. Robert Whittaker, man, this is where it hurts me because I've already done videos, explaining why I think him and Max Holloway have such similar careers where, they started out these youngins and came up and took out some of the most dominant fighters that we've ever seen in their divisions and then go on to become a dominant champion with multiple title defenses. And then they run into just that one guy that's a kryptonite for them. For Robert Whittaker, it's Israel Adesanya. And for Max Holloway, it was Alexander Volkanovski. And then, you're supposed to be this gatekeeper all of a sudden. You're supposed to start falling down, but then they keep beating everybody. They keep taking out all the number one contenders. Every time that somebody's supposed to step up and, start fighting as a new face, Robert Whittaker took him out. Anytime somebody's supposed to step up and fight Volk and be his kryptonite, Max Holloway took him out. And then you're sitting there, and luckily with Max, he had his UFC 300 moment, which is probably bigger than any of his championships. And it finally came full circle. And with Robert Whittaker, that's what it felt like here. It seems like he's kind of pushing the back of the line when it comes to the title right now because Izzy's still in the picture and they're trying to kind of go new ways with the whole Sean Strickland and DDP thing. But this was his moment, man, to be the first one to say you beat Khamzat Chimaev. And what if he goes out there and just absolutely stuns the world and knocks him out or something, finally gets a finish again? This could have been his moment, man. And now what? You got to fight a killer and Ikram Aliskerov, which, yeah, he should win. But if Robert Whittaker, this is a lose-lose for him. You win this fight. Oh, cool, dude. You're supposed to beat this guy. Cool. You stepped up in a week's notice, 8 days notice to save the card. Yeah, you beat an unranked guy. Cool. You should do that. Or if you lose, now it's, wow, dude, you really lost to an unranked guy? Everybody's going to start questioning Robert Whittaker. That spinning back kick for the spinning wheel kick from Paulo Costa landed. Izzy's beat him. DDP's beat him. Maybe he's fallen off. So now he went from having one of his biggest moments and beating Khamzat and almost getting a guaranteed title shot to now, okay, you're just going to save the UFC's ass by stepping into this fight. And now you're fighting an absolute no-namer. There's no gain here. And it's just super depressing. What do you do with somebody like Khamzat now? Let's not forget this man had, 2 fights scheduled with Leon Edwards and had to back out of them as well. And look what Leon Edwards is doing now. He's the champion. There goes his chance. That could have been Khamzat's chance. Now what? Now they force him to go up to 185 after the whole Nate Diaz debacle and all these things. And now he's at 185, and now he's getting these big fights, and he's got to back out every single time. Or they're hiding a weird, which I still think USADA got him, like, what, last year or 2 years ago? I still think they got him for that entire year because you didn't hear a single thing about no sickness, no nothing. Just, oh, yeah, he's just waiting for a fight. Like, what do you do with this guy now? He can't even fight anywhere else. He can't fight in the States, like we said. His visa's problems. He can't fight anywhere else in the world. He has to fight in the Middle Eastern. He's got to fight in, Saudi Arabia or the United Emirates or whatever the heck they're, United Emirates and all these things that they call it. Like, what do you do with him? I don't know if we've ever seen a fighter fall off as much as we've seen Khamzat, where he's still undefeated, which is the craziest part. But now you're probably going to get passed up. Now it seems like they're probably going to start throwing Bo Nickel in there and trying to take your shine. Now you got all these guys coming up at 185 that's like, hey, and even at 170, which you still can compete, like when we got Shavkat and Ian Gary and all that, they're going to be much more tempted to just give these guys the chance and not you anymore. So it just hurts a lot, especially after his last two fights against, Gilbert Burns and Kamaru Usman. Like, yeah, he won those, but he won those by the skin of his teeth, and we all know that, which is still impressive to even get those dubs the way that he's been getting them. But, man, it's going to catch up to him, man, when you're sitting down this much and not fighting that much, and then to blow your chances. And, like, he could legitimately be hurt, but I'm pretty sure they said it was only, like, food poisoning or something, which, I mean, I've had food poisoning before, and I know it takes you out pretty damn bad, but it's usually, like, a 48-hour bug. So, like, how could you not recover real quick and fight? Like, I just don't get what's going on. I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know what's going on, but it's hurting these guys like Robert Whittaker, who have been fighting for so long. And, outside of maybe getting lucky again and getting a third or fourth shot at a, crack at a championship, like, you've already been champion with multiple title defenses. You got to really be fighting for something that wakes you up. And, somebody like Khamzat Chimaev to take his first 0, like, yeah, that's going to wake you up. But to fight an Ikram Aliskerov in one day or a week's notice, like, man, I just don't know it. Now it just hurts Robert Whittaker, and now he might go out there and lose this fight, and now he might never get a big fight again. So, as a Robert Whittaker fan, I'm absolutely devastated. But when I think we were due, because we got lucky with this whole UFC 300 thing. Nobody's been backing out of fights, and we were due for it, but it just hurts the way that this happened here. Like, I wasn't shocked about the Conor thing. I kind of like Jamal Hill stepping out of that fight just because he just got knocked out by Pereira so quickly, but when it comes to the Khamzat one, man, that one just really hurts because that was the UFC's like bread and butter for the future. And now it's like, I don't know, man, we can't trust you with anything. So you guys let me know what you got to think. And I'm still rooting for Bobby Knuckles, but we'll see, man. This shit's getting tough. But as always, your boy Steven Moustaris. And let's go, baby.